Showtime is here, no time to fear. Carell is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Carell is the one that you need to know. Now it's showtime.
The police are committing 10,000 murders a year. Murders. And nobody is even logging it or documenting it. We're going to talk about that today. And is there a peace deal? We'll talk about that and so much more. Don't go anywhere. Hello, it is the Carell Show. I am Carell, and I am so very glad you are joining me on this Wednesday, June 17th. We've got a lot to talk about today, children, including 10,000 murders or more a year by the police that nobody is talking about. And that's going to drive me cray, okay? Cray. I realize my color is all off today for my camera from my background. Do you see that? I see it, and it's bothering me. And I don't know why it's happening, and that bothers me. But since we're already started the show, there's not much I can do about it, right? You just got to live with some things sometimes. You got to live with imperfections sometimes. I don't like it any more than you do. But sometimes you just got to live with it, girls. You got to live with it. So I'm going to live with it. And hopefully we can get this fixed. Sometime or another. If I fix it and I restart the video, it's going to restart the whole show. Do you want to do that? Just restart the whole show. See if it works out better. I don't know. Could be fun. Could start the whole thing again. Could be fun. Could be a frolic and a fun. But I don't know. And sometimes I wonder, about the world. I do. Sometimes I'm like, how on earth do we...
No time to fear.
Oh, it did it.
Is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show. Let's give it a go. Carell is the one that you need to know. Now it's showtime.
Starting all over again. 10,000 murders a year by the police. And we're going to talk about it because no one else is. Nobody. Well, everyone is because of a video on TikTok. And it made me think. Plus, we're going to talk about this peace deal. Is it? All right. It is the Carell Show. Let's start again. But it's better. Do you see? It's not pixelating in the background. So if it wanted to start again to fix itself, then I say, hey, good for it. All right, so 10,000 murders a year. And I'm appalled. I am. I can't even tell you how appalled I am about all of this. And it came to be from a TikTok video. And I know, most of you don't watch TikTok. I do occasionally. I'll see a video that comes across and it will either inspire me to do something here on the show, or it will, it'll just irk me. And this one made me cry, actually. And I don't like to cry, okay? I don't like to cry from videos that I see on TikTok, but this one made me cry. I'm not going to show the video that we're going to reference today, by the way, because I don't want you to cry. But speaking of references and speaking of crying, there's allegedly a deal, an Iran deal. And did you hear what the president had to say about it? You got to hear this. This is something.
Behave. We'll go right back to dropping bombs right smack in the middle of their head.
Is the text of the agreement now final, or are you still...
No, it's not final. It's a memorandum of understanding. And if I don't like it, we'll go back to shooting at them, dropping bombs on their head.
When do you expect the wording?
If I don't like it, if they don't behave, we'll go right back to dropping bombs right smack in the middle of their head. Okay? Because they've misbehaved for 47 years. All right?
Does it include
But nobody could have made this deal.
All right, there it was. I would say it shocks me, but it doesn't. A seated president, we'll drop bombs on their heads. It's talking about killing people with impunity. We'll just drop bombs on their heads. We'll just kill them. He talks about this, and it makes me very sad to hear him say that because, that's not a serious person. That's not a serious president. That is a disgrace, an international and national disgrace. But what about this quote-unquote deal that he's looking over and going to sign and all of that? What about it? I read the 14 points of this memorandum. It's not even a peace deal. He's, I'm the only one that could have made this deal. You haven't made it yet. It's a memorandum. It's a memo. They sent him a memo that said, we're going to get around to peace soon. But what is in this 14-point peace deal? Well, I had ChatGPT summarize it for us. And after reading it, I got angry. Okay? I was like, are you kidding me? So there's 14 points in it. And even ChatGPT says it's bad. But there are 14 points. The first is a permanent ceasefire. The U.S., Iran, and their allies will stop fighting and agree to not resume hostilities. The problem with that already, Israel says they won't. Israel said, no, we're going to keep bombing in Lebanon. So already, number one is moot. And Iran said that if Israel keeps it up, there'll be no peace deal. So there's not going to be a peace deal. Number two, respect sovereignty. Neither side will interfere in the other's internal affairs. In other words, we won't try to remove the Ayatollah, which is a lie. Number three, 60-day negotiation. Both sides commit to negotiating a final agreement within 60 days. So this isn't a final deal. This isn't anything except a 60-day ceasefire, basically. End military pressure. The U.S. would halt its blockade and reduce military pressure. Reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Get this. A $300 billion construction plan. The U.S. and partners would support a $300 billion economic rebuilding program for Iran. Can you imagine if we invested $300 billion in rebuilding America? Can you imagine the high-speed rail that we would have, the infrastructure changes we could make? But no, we're going to make them in Iran. What a great deal for them. $300 billion. You could rebuild the whole country for that. And what do we get over here? The bill. That's what we get. You and I. You and I will get the bill for that. Iran.
If you're not visiting reallycorrell.com daily, you're missing out. Get the podcast, videos, and the blog, including recipes at reallycorrell.com. That's really KAREL.com.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Corel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Corel is the one that you need to know.
FYI, you know who pays the fees in a court trial? The loser. Okay, that's who pays the fees in a court trial. The loser. So we lost. And in order to get Iran to reopen the strait, and not, we should be paid $300 billion. There should be checks going to each and every one of us for all the extra money we've had to pay at the grocery store, at the gas station. But instead of us getting money to put in our bank account, we're going to spend $300 billion of grift money, because that's just going to go to construction partners and private contractors. The Iranian people won't see any real change. But someone will get $300 billion, just not you and I. We can't build a frickin' high-speed train from Las Vegas to L.A. They're building one now. No, they're building one from Las Vegas to Rancho Cucamonga, 2 hours outside of L.A. We can't build high-speed rail from San Francisco to New York. We can't upgrade our cities so we don't die from climate change, where it's already in Las Vegas 101 degrees at 10 a.m. was 95 degrees on our walk this morning. No, we can't do any of that. Why? Because we're fucking giving Iran $300 billion because our out-of-control, insane, sick-looking president started a friggin' war we didn't need and got nothing out of it. Nothing. Didn't get regime change, didn't get cheaper oil prices, got nothing, and now is paying the losing fees. So $300 billion restructuring plan, plus billions in frozen Iranian funds would be unfrozen during negotiations. $24 billion released immediately for Iran. This is not even an engagement ring. It's a promise ring. And we're already giving them the dowry. Let's see. No nuclear weapons. Iran reaffirms it will not build nukes. Nuclear talks continue. Uranium enrichment stockpiles and inspections would be negotiated in the final agreement, meaning there's no agreement right now for those. Oil sanction relief. Iran would be allowed to export oil more freely, so they'll make more money there. So they're going to make a shit ton of money exporting their oil. They're going to have a $300 billion reconstruction plan and $24 billion unsealed. So now we're at about $400 billion deal, almost $500 billion, which Elon Musk could write the check for. Broader sanction relief roadmap, lifting of U.S. and UN sanctions against Iran. A formal process would monitor both sides. The final agreement would have to go to the UN, and a detailed timeline of the enforcement would be negotiated. The three biggest takeaways: the strait reopens, Iran gets major economic benefits. The draft includes sanction relief, access to frozen assets, oil exports, and a proposed reconstruction fund worth $300 billion. Critics argue this gives Iran substantial leverage before a final nuclear agreement is reached, because it does. And number three, the nuclear issue is not actually solved. In short, this is from ChatGPT. In short, this draft is essentially stop fighting now, reopen oil shipping, provide economic incentives, and spend 60 days trying to negotiate a permanent nuclear and peace deal. However, it is doubtful it will become a lasting agreement. I can't. I can't. And all you MAGA, well, this war started in 1978 under Jimmy Carter when he installed the Ayatollah Khomeini. Stop living in the frickin' past, okay? This war started when Donald Trump, on behalf of Benjamin Netanyahu, invaded Iran. Prior to that, the Strait of Hormuz was open. We were not paying $5 a gallon for gas. So don't give me this. This war started in 1978. If that's the case, then the Israeli conflict started in 1949. Okay? So just move the frick on. I hate that MAGA always got to blame someone before them. Oh, it's Joe Biden's fault. Oh, it's Obama's fault. The fucking reflecting pool has turned into a swamp. Very fitting. Okay, it's a very fitting thing that this thing that Donald Trump has done to the reflecting pool is now a swamp filled with algae. That is very fitting. He didn't drain the swamp. He spent $20 million of our money to create an actual swamp. Think about that. Their whole thing, oh, we're going to drain the swamp. No, actually, you created a new one and cost us $20 million to drain the pond, paint it with a color paint that promotes algae. And now they're literally dumping bottles of hydrogen peroxide into the pond because they want to kill all the wildlife and the algae. It's just a symbol. That is just a great symbol of what's going on with this administration. Who, by the way, today, he is at an all-time low. His approval rating. It is lower. His approval is so low it has to look up to look down. I mean, truly. I mean, when he might as well start bottoming because that's where his approval rating is. So we have this Iranian deal, which is not a deal. Okay? Not a deal. And meanwhile, MAGA will be like, oh, yeah, Donald Trump did it. He made peace. Oh, because they're idiots. $300 billion. You cannot comprehend how much money that is. 1,000,000 seconds is 11 days. 1,000,000,000 seconds is 32 years. So you can't even comprehend how much $300 billion is. Okay? That's $1 a minute for how many years? I bet ChatGPT could answer that. If I had $300 billion and spent $1 every second, how many years would it take to spend it all? Let's see if it can even figure that out. You're so advanced, Mr. AI. Let's just see. Spending $1 every second means $60 per minute, $3,600 per hour, $86,000 per day, dividing 300 billion into... Oh my God. This fund for Iran is the equivalent. Are you ready for this? This fund for Iran is the equivalent of spending $86,000 a day for 9,510 years. So the fund for Iran is like giving Iran $86,000 a day for 9,500 years. Do you see why I say you can't comprehend what a billion is? A billion, the money we are giving Iran, $300 billion, is like spending $1 every minute for 9,510 years. Or $86,500 a day for 9,510 years. Or you could jump it up to $180,000 a day for 4,750 years. Do you understand how much money that is now? Do you get it? Do you see why I say your brain simply can't comprehend those numbers? Almost 10,000 years at $90,000 a day. That's what we're giving Iran to get out of this war. That really angers me. That just really angers me. And I'm at the phase now where I want Trump over. This nightmare has to end sooner than 2028. He needs to be impeached, or he needs to die because he's so sick. And then J.D. Vance should be impeached, and all of MAGA should be thrown out. This has to end. I'm so sick of every day coming out here with these absurdities. $90,000 a day for 9,000 years. That's how much we're giving Iran to end the war. $90,000 a day for 9,000 years. I can't. We are a laughing stock. We are the most ridiculous nation in the world now. And he's done that to us. He has done that to us. Can you imagine? So there we have that. Gay rights this month in June are taking a big hit. Talk about a pivot, but they are. There are places canceling prides, pulling pride flags, just all kinds of negativity going on across the country and the world during Pride Month this year, more than ever before in modern history. And it's all Donald Trump and MAGA influenced. That's what it is. And one of MAGA's biggest obsessions are trans people. That's like their biggest thing. It's trans people. And this morning, their big thing is trans people in bathrooms. I had someone yell at me at the park. Well, we protect we do these anti-trans laws to protect the children. To protect the children. I see. Okay. And this morning, that was on my mind, which is why I'm mentioning it now. Because I maintain there's so much more that we could be concerned about, and we're not. Now, when I hear we're giving $300 billion to Iran to rebuild their infrastructure that we broke, to rebuild their country, I'm drawn back to our country. And when I think about trans people and bathrooms in our country, this morning I had to pee at Desert Breeze Park. Okay? And I walked in to this. I hope you can see it. But what you're seeing is a person that has taken up residence in the back bathroom stall. You see all their crap. See their bicycle wheel. You see all kinds of stuff. They have all of their belongings. Look at that. They have all of their belongings in that stall. Do you see that? And it's locked. Can't get in. So no one can use it. It's out of commission for the most part. And there is a homeless person living in there with all of their belongings. And that's what I walked into. I couldn't use it if I wanted to. No one else could. It's out of commission. All because of a homeless person. And all I could think of was, why doesn't MAGA concern itself about this in public bathrooms? This is more harmful to our kids in public bathrooms. We don't know who that homeless person is. We don't know their mental state. And yet there they are, holed up in a public bathroom. They're not trans, they're not gay, and they're not a drag queen. I'll guarantee you that. And there they are, taking up my bathroom for my use, your bathroom for your use, and MAGA doesn't care. There's no legislation about that. There's no hearings about it. There's no executive orders about it. But if that person were a trans person, then MAGA would care. That is the ridiculous world we live in. MAGA is more concerned about a trans person going into that bathroom to pee or poo than they are a person that has taken up residence in the bathroom, which is far worse for your kid to walk into. This is the United States of America, the divided states of America. I didn't hear J.D. Vance get asked about any of that because in their bubble, they don't walk into bathrooms like that. Oprah has not seen a bathroom like that. J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, Pete Hegsworth, none of them. None of the high-ranking MAGAs have to walk in and use a bathroom like that. I do. You do. What are they concerned when it comes to bathrooms? Where trans people pee. That's what they're concerned about. I can't even get to use the toilet, let alone pee, because there's someone living. It's a crazy world. It really is a crazy world. All right, we'll get to the story that broke my heart when we come back.
Patreon is the way to show you care. Subscribe today if you dare. Keep the show on there. Patreon is the way. Now it's showtime.
All right, hold on. I am banning someone for life from my chat room because my moderators aren't doing their job. All right, there we go. Someone just said pride is the original sin. Pride is the most despicable of sins. And of course, he's saying that because I mentioned pride festivals and all of that. You know, I have a song coming out called You Have to Be Proud. And this motherfucker's going to be in my chat room and say pride's a sin. Fuck you. Get out of my chat room. Go away. I'm tired of you. You're here every day. You say obtuse things, and I'm sick of you. I'm sick of a lot today. I'm sick of walking into bathrooms, finding people living in them, and no one cares. I am sick of countries pooling their money so they can give Iran $300 billion when we have abject poverty in this country where there are people lining up for hours. The other morning I was at the park at 6:15 on Saturday. There were people lined up for free food already in their Teslas and their Lexuses, and they didn't start giving out the food until 9 a.m. So they're sitting out there in 100-degree heat for 3 hours in their cars to get a box of food in the United States. But we can pull together $300 billion to give to the Iranians. $90,000 a day for the next 9,500 years. We can allow Elon Musk to become a trillionaire. Again, let's just ask this. How much money could you spend every day for 10,000 years if you had $1 trillion? Let's see that answer, shall we? Get out. Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow. So for the next 10,000 years, Elon Musk can spend $275,000 a day. For the next 10,000 years, he can spend $275,000 a day. And that's okay with everybody. Everybody's just fine with him having a valuation to where he could spend $275,000 a day for 10,000 years with his money. See, this is, this is the world in which we live. And it's sad because the world had such potential. We had such potential as humans. We really did. Our potential for good, our potential for wisdom and knowledge and for love and acceptance and kindness. We have potential for all of that, but it's just going by the wayside now. It's just leaving. We have a president that started an unjust war. To get out of it, we lost. We're going to have to pay billions of dollars and make concessions that were not in place prior. We lost. Okay? We lost. And so it's going to cost us a fortune to get out of it. And you think oil companies are going to magically bring gas down to like $2 a gallon? Dream on. Dream on. They like making $30 million an hour in profits. They like that. Okay? So they're not giving that up. You think food prices are going to miraculously go down? No. They're not. You know where it's going to be good to live soon? Iran. Hell, $300 billion investment in a country that's the size of, New Jersey. It's going to be great to live in Iran. They're going to have the best roads. They're going to have the best transportation. They're going to have the best of everything because we're going to spend money to rebuild it. Meanwhile, our buses are unusable because of their schedules. They're shoddy, they're not well maintained. We don't have monorails, high-speed rail. We don't have transportation pods to get around cities that are owned up by us. Yeah, we have them here in Vegas, Zeusk, but Zeusk is owned by Jeff Bezos. Why isn't the public? Why don't we own Zeusk? Why don't we send those to get seniors, to get people that are poor that can't afford transportation? Why can't they use those? No, Jeff Bezos owns them, so he's got to turn a profit. We're really fucking up. We really, truly are. We are just messing up every single day. And we seem to think we can just keep messing up indefinitely and everything's going to be fine. No, a crash is coming. A stock market crash, an economic crash, a real estate crash, it's coming. And what are we doing to head it off? Well, we're making Elon Musk a trillionaire and giving him $250,000 a day to spend for 10,000 years. We're giving Iran a slush fund of $300 billion or $90,000 a day for 9,500 years. That's what we're busy doing. What aren't we doing? Putting any money in your pocket at all. Oh, no, you got to keep paying. What aren't we doing? Allowing you to retire early. Allowing you to retire with dignity. The big Republican push now is to do away with Social Security. They're not going to save the Social Security fund. They want it to run out. They want it to end. And they don't want Medicare anymore either. If you're old and you didn't have a prosperous life, I heard a Republican MAGA person in a debate online say, if you age and you don't have the money for your own retirement and to buy your own health insurance, then you should die in your 60s because you didn't set yourself up and you're just dead weight. That's what he said. Only in America. They don't say that in Europe. They don't say that in any civilized country except America. You get old, you don't have any money, die. You're dead weight, we don't need you. You're not paying into the system, and we're not going to give you money from the system. You should just die. That's what they said. I could play you the clip. So this is where we're at in 2026. And he's not gone till January 2029. So you think it's going to get better between now and then? You think suddenly we're going to focus on you and your needs, your climate change needs, your public transportation needs, your economic needs, your housing needs? Nah. When we come back, there is something I would like us to focus on. I'd like to start a movement about it, by the way. It is one of the most appalling things I found out, and I want you to know about it. So we're going to tell you about it when we come back. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment below the video, youtube.com/Willie Carell.
It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Carell Cast on your favorite streaming service. You're listening to the Carell Cast. Driving you home or driving you crazy. It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Carell Cast on your favorite streaming service. You're listening to the Carell Cast. Driving you home or driving you crazy.
All righty, I know you've probably heard this story. You may not have if you're not on social media, but it's all over social media, as is our Los Angeles story. It even made the Today Show. And I'm right. It's Los Angeles. But anyway, well, it's Los Angeles. So in New York, a woman was celebrating the New York Knicks victory, and she was loud and she was screaming. And neighbors called in a noise complaint. When the police arrive and burst into her unit, they see her Labradoodle, which is wearing a Knicks t-shirt, and they kill it. Oh, we thought it was attacking her. It wasn't. And there's video of her in front of her apartment sobbing. Oh, see, I can't. It's just so hard. There's video of her sobbing, clutching her dead, dying Labradoodle that the police have murdered. And it was murder. It wasn't attacking anybody, wasn't harming anybody. They murdered it. So I did some research. The best estimate is that every year the police kill between 10 and 15,000 dogs. That's 10 to 15,000 dogs, or in upwards of 30 to 40 dogs a day are killed by the police. There is no oversight. There is no mandatory reporting. There is no suspension. There is no disciplinary action. There's no internal affairs investigation. To put this in perspective, cops kill about 1,200 people, humans, a year. 1,200. They kill 10 to 15,000 dogs. And that's because when a cop kills a person, there's an internal review. There's disciplinary action. There's suspension without pay. There's all kinds of things. Kill a dog? Nothing. Nothing. They don't even have to report it. The ASPCA has been begging politicians for 10 years now to change the policies around police shootings of dogs. The ASPCA has been begging authorities that when an officer shoots a dog, that there is an investigation, and that if it is not a good shoot, that there are repercussions. There are none right now. You can possibly sue for the price of the dog, whatever you paid for the dog. And that's it. That's it. Now, we all know dogs are family members. And every day, police are killing about 30 or 40 family members. And half the time, it's for no reason. And 80% of the time, it is on the dog's property. A dog is trained to stop intruders. That's what a dog does. So these cops invade the dog's property for whatever reason and kill them. Kill them. There are cases where the police want to go look in a window of a building. They don't have a warrant. They want to go look in a window. But there's a dog in the yard, and they kill the dog and say, oh, it was attacking us. Well, yeah, you were in its yard. 10,000 dogs a year, and they believe that is a low-end estimate because there is no mandatory reporting. This is murder. This is sanctioned legal murder. And there needs to be an end to it. I have already sent a note to government officials that I know saying, you got to stop this in your state. There needs to be oversight every time. And there are body cameras. All body camera footage should be reviewed. And non-lethal ways of dealing with the animal. If there is a dog on a property that police need to get on.
If you're not visiting reallycorel.com daily, you're missing out. Get the podcast, videos, and the blog, including recipes at reallycorel.com. That's really KAREL.com.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Corel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Corel is the one that you need to know.
So why is animal control not called? Why is the first line of thinking to just shoot the dog? You know, the more I hear about what cops do, the more I don't like cops. I know that sounds horrible. I do. I am pro-police, or I try to be. But the more I hear about what they get away with, it just makes me not like them. I watched the video of that woman and her Labradoodle. That cop should be fired. Like, fired. Just unequivocally fired. The Labradoodle was not harming anybody. Was not doing a thing. Just playing with its owner. And he shot and killed it. Right in front of the woman. Can you imagine your dog being killed right in front of you by a cop, and then being told there's nothing you can do? Can't sue them. The guy won't get charged with any kind of crime. It's as if it never happened. Really, police force? Really? In 2026, this is the world in which we live, where family members can be murdered by police and no one does a thing. No one cares. That's where we are. This woman in New York, she is always going to be afraid of police now, and rightfully so. She will always have the image of her dog dying from gunshot wounds, lying right in front of her. This is traumatic, and this is wrong. And I don't know what I would do to a cop that did that. If a cop ever killed Ember, I might end up in jail for the rest of my life. I might. I really might. And I hate to say that. I do. But I would immediately act. They'd probably end up killing me. They would. They'd probably end up killing me. Well, they would kill me. In other words, if somebody killed Ember, you might as well just shoot me. You know, I mean, and there's no legislation about this. There's nothing. They don't even have to report it. In many, many precincts, they don't even have to tell anyone that they killed a dog. What the hell? I mean, dogs, black people, gay people, cops can just shoot, beat, or kill with impunity. It's kind of ridiculous. And that's where we are with policing in 2026. And there's none repercussion. And until there is, it's going to keep up. Until a cop thinks twice before shooting a dog because he knows he might lose his job, then there won't be any kind of reform at all. They need to know, you kill a dog, you could be fired. If you or I shoot someone's dog, it's a felony. It's a felony. That's animal cruelty, and it's a felony. If a policeman does it, self-protection. Yeah, that's what they say. Oh, I was protecting myself. You know, the dog was going to kill me. They have shot chihuahuas. I looked, I've done the research. They have shot chihuahuas. Can you imagine shooting a chihuahua and saying you feared for your life? That you were protecting yourself by shooting a chihuahua. Self-defense from a chihuahua. But they've shot them. They've shot the number one breed that they shoot, pitties. The number one breed. They see a pit bull and they just shoot it. They don't care if it's friendly or not, whatever, they just shoot it. Over 30 a day. Again, we hear these numbers. 10,000 dogs a year or more. That's 30 a day. That's one every hour. So all year long, 1.5 dogs are killed every hour by cops. Every hour. Every hour, a cop is killing a dog. Every hour. Can you imagine that? Since we've been on the air, a dog has died at the hands of a police. Just while we've been on the air. One dog is no longer here at the hands of police. Put that in perspective. And then after we get off air from 11 to 12, another dog will die. From 12 to 1, another dog will die. From 1 to 2, another dog will die. And all day long and all through the night, every time your clock goes around for 1 full hour, a cop has killed another dog. Think about that today. As you're going through your day, every time you check your watch, say, oh my God, another dog has died. Because they have. 10,000 or more a year. 0 repercussions. That needs to change. And it shows that we don't honor life. How can we say we honor life if we let this happen? Okay? I mean, really, how can we allow this? Let's see what ChatGPT said about it. Police kill 10,000 dogs every year. Every year. Can you imagine? Yeah, and most are unreported. The uncomfortable answer is we don't actually know for sure how many dogs are killed per year by police because there is no national database requiring police departments to report when they shoot or kill pets. That lack of tracking is itself a major criticism from animal welfare groups and legal scholars. The figure most often cited is 10,000 dogs killed by police each year in the United States, which works out to roughly 25 to 30 dogs per day. That estimate has been attributed to a U.S. Department of Justice official and has been repeated in academic papers, law enforcement training materials, and animal welfare discussions. The 10,000 figure is an estimate, not a count. Many departments do not track animal shootings separately. Some researchers argue the true number could be much higher because incidents often go unreported or are classified inconsistently. Animal welfare organizations such as the ASPCA have argued that police shootings of pets are common enough to warrant mandatory reporting and specialized training, noting that many incidents involve family pets on their owner's property rather than active attacks. As for repercussions, that varies widely. Officers are generally given broad legal latitude if they can articulate that they believed a dog posed an immediate threat. Civil lawsuits sometimes succeed. There have been settlements in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, but criminal or professional consequences from officers is rare. One thing that often surprises people, there is actually more systematic national data on police shootings of humans than on police shootings of dogs. We can estimate that police kill about 1,200 people per year, but there is no comparable official nationwide database for pets. Wow. Just a big wow. So, what do? Mandatory training for every police officer on how to deal with a dog. Mandatory. Part of the academy. That's the first thing. Second of all, prosecute any police officer that shoots a dog that was not actively attacking him. Number 2, mandatory. Dismissal. You're out. Shoot a dog that is not actively attacking you, teeth blaring, running, jumping at you. Number 3, non-lethal weapons first. We have tasers and we have guns that shoot nets. Cops have guns that shoot nets. Shoot a net at the dog. Okay? Mine's snoring next to me, by the way. There are easy fixes. And that is treat the animal like a human. Put all the rules in place for shooting a dog that are in place for shooting a human. Period. Life is life. Now, I know as a vegan, I respect life more than most of you that aren't vegan. I get that. But have some compassion. There is a solution to this. And it requires training, possibly new equipment. This is 2026. We can't figure out how to subdue a dog? I mean, really, it's 2026. We cannot, with all the technology in the world, figure out how to arm police with something that would stop a dog from attacking but not kill it. It's not the dog's fault. It's attacking the police. The police are encroaching on its property, on its domain. It doesn't know about warrants or anything like that. It knows that there's intruders. That's all it knows. Find a way to not kill the dog. How hard is that? So there we have it. Body cams. Review them all. We saw the body cam from yesterday. The cop had no reason to shoot the dog. None. I thought it was attacking the lady. Did the lady say, help, this dog is attacking me? No. She did not. And for a country that purports to be religious, which is where the biggest hypocrisy is, for a people that purport to love and worship a god, a deity, some fictitious being, they're supposed to be about love, compassion. Why every Christian isn't a vegan, I'll never know. Thou shalt not kill. That's pretty self-explanatory. Number 1, thou shalt not kill. It doesn't say thou shalt not kill each other. Thou shalt not kill humans. Thou shalt not kill man. That's not what it says. It says thou shalt not kill. That means dogs, cows, pigs, octopus, shrimp. That means every animal out there. Thou shalt not kill. Period. Don't kill. They ignore that. They just ignore it. Oh, no, we can kill. there are levels of being able to kill. We can kill for self-defense. Really? Because it doesn't say that in the Ten Commandments. Oh, it might say it later in the Bible. But in the Ten Commandments, the original document, it says, thou shalt not kill. It doesn't say in self-defense. It doesn't say that there's justifiable homicide, that there's manslaughter or various degrees of killing. Nope. It says don't kill. Period. There is a period. Thou shalt not kill. Period. But of course, Christians are not Christian. They're not Christ-like. You know, Christ did not walk around killing dogs. Just didn't do it. You know, he killed some fish. I don't know if he killed the fish. He made the fish, I guess. Remember? He was like feeding people, and suddenly there was like all these fish that he could feed the people. No one says where the fish came from, but I'm assuming he just made them poof, just appear. But yeah, he didn't walk around killing things. You know? I bet the Last Supper was vegan. I wonder what the menu was. I bet it was vegan. Christ would have been a vegan. I mean, he didn't exist, and there is no God. But if there were, Christ would have been a vegan. He wouldn't kill things. Everything is God's creation. You kill a cow, you're killing God's creation. You mistreat an animal, you torture an animal, you're torturing God's creation. So when cops kill dogs, they're killing God's creations. This needs a political movement. The ASPCA should be much more vocal about this. And I think they're going to be after this New York case because it's gone viral. Everybody online is talking about it because they have video of the woman sobbing over her dog, her Labradoodle, in a Knicks t-shirt. If this doesn't bring this to the front, I mean, couldn't Congress agree on like one thing, that cops need oversight when it comes to killing dogs? Couldn't we get the members of the House and the Senate to at least agree that you can't just willy-nilly be killing people's pets? Couldn't we just get agreement on that? Isn't that something MAGA and Democrats can agree upon? Don't bust into someone's house and then shoot their pet. I mean, that I would think there'd be common ground there. You know? Someone said animals were here for us to use. That is so stupid. That is the stupidest argument against veganism that I've ever heard. Use humans. You want to use an animal? Use a human. You want to drink milk? Go milk a pregnant woman. Animals are not here for us to use. Animals are sentient. They have feelings, thoughts, emotions, family structure. They deserve a place on planet Earth. It is theirs as much as ours. They have a right to be here, and we do not have the right to kill them. Or they have the right to kill us. If we have the right to kill animals, then they have the right to kill us.
Patreon is the way to show you care. Subscribe today if you dare. Keep the show on there. Patreon is the way. Now it's showtime.
Someone said, read Genesis 9:3. It proves animals are here for us to use. I don't read works of fiction written by men. Unless it's Anne Rice or Stephen King or, something like that. Why would I look to a work of fiction to justify the murder of animals? And this is how dumb these cult members are. These cult members will go to a book written by men in like the 2nd century to justify their actions in 2026. These people are mentally ill. They are truly mentally ill. If you justify abusing animals by a text of ancient writing written by men that died of syphilis, then you're insane. You're insane. The Bible is not divine. It was not written by a Christ or a God. They don't write books. And it certainly wasn't written by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Those names didn't even exist. And those tomes had no author attributed. It was a pope that decided to attribute those books to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. These people don't even know the history of the book that they use to justify their horrible actions. They're mentally ill. Shooting dogs should be a crime for everybody. For police, for private people, you shoot a dog, it's a crime. If the dog is mauling you, okay. And I say that with terrible heart, because if the dog is mauling you, it's only because it's protecting its owner or its domain. It's not dogs are not malicious. They are not attacking you because they hate you or because you're black or white or because you're gay or trans. They're not attacking you for any other reason than you have entered their domain. Or they perceive you to be a threat, or they were trained by a human to do so. Dogs are not malicious. They are not bad creatures. None of them start out bad. They are loving, loyal companions. There is no reason to shoot them unless they are trying to rip out your throat. That's it. The same with cows and pigs and chickens. Unless those creatures are trying to kill you, there is no reason to kill one of them. It is 2026. Evolve for the love of your Christ. And I just can't wait till these people die and they realize there's no heaven and they've been sold a bill of goods. I can't wait for that. Or they die and there is a God and he sends them all to hell for perverting their beliefs. Because God said, thou shalt not kill. Period. That's what God said. Thou shalt not kill. He felt so strongly about it, he wrote it in stone and gave it to an old guy to carry down a mountain. He felt really strongly about it. But in Genesis, please. A bunch of ignorant men in the year 10 or the year 105. People who died from scratches, without antiseptic. People who didn't even know what bacteria were. People who had no idea about the stars or science or anything. These were actual idiots. And they wrote a book as government to govern people. And someone took it as divine. Oh, nauseating. Don't kill dogs. And we need to set up panels for every police force everywhere to better train the officers, to give them more tools to deal with it. Stun guns, tasers, guns that shoot nets. But we need to make sure that 10,000 dogs a year don't continue dying. That's what we need to make sure. So when you talk to your lawmaker, when you email your congressperson or your senator, how about you bring up that 10,000 pets a year are killed by police and we need to do something about this? How about our lawmakers start to know that we don't want this to happen? Because we don't. I don't. You don't. No one with a heart wants to see 30 dogs a day be killed, a dog every hour by the police. Nobody wants to see that. So it's time we try to make a change. And I hope this video out of New York helps us make that change. I really, truly do. Right, Miss Ember? You don't want 10,000 of your friends killed because she's friends with everybody, Yes. Oh, Lord. I've read more of the Bible than most of you. My uncle was a preacher. I went to Catholic school, please. That's why I know the book is a bunch of bullshit. I've read it cover to cover countless times. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of patriarchal, ridiculous bullshit. And if you think otherwise, good for you. But keep your ridiculous beliefs out of my show. Keep them out of my chat room. Keep them out of my life. Okay? You want to believe in unicorns? Believe in unicorns. You want to believe in some all-powerful deity that has all dominion over your life? You want to believe in a book that tells you what to do that wasn't written by God but was written by man? Then you go ahead and do that. But keep your insane rantings to yourself. You're insane. We don't need to hear it. It's like MAGA. God, You want to believe the United States shouldn't follow the Constitution? You want to believe that all people were not created equal? You want to believe that white people are in somehow superior to black people or to brown people? You want to think that an immigrant is your problem and that's why your life sucks? Then you go ahead and believe that. But keep it out of my White House. Just keep it away from me. You're far more detrimental to the world than anything. MAGA and Christians are two of the biggest plagues the world has ever seen. MAGA is just a confederacy. The Confederacy is just Nazis. They're all the same ilk. They're all the same thing. It's all the same. Christians are like Confederates and like Nazis and like MAGA. And yeah, I said it. They are, because they're ruled by a doctrine that makes no sense. They're a member of a cult that makes no sense. It makes no sense. And they pervert it to then further their racist, homophobic, murderous ideologies. These people run around yelling, all life is sacred, so we must ban abortion, and then they support the death penalty. Figure that out. People that are anti-abortion are pro-death penalty. Figure that out. You can't. I am Karel. Be who you want to be. So on the hunt, you buddy. We'll see you tomorrow on Thursday. I don't know if there's a This Gay Week this week. We'll check and see if Scott's okay in the Ukraine. And then see if we can get him on. Until then, thank you, patrons, at patreon.com/Really Karel.
It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service. You're listening to the Karel Cast, driving you home or driving you crazy. It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know. Now it's show.